Here is one of my favorite tools that I use for hand plane restorations. It's a handmade scraper. This fit is not as tight as I would like, but that was my fault. Normally it works quite well to where it's pretty much can just be friction fit. But you cut a slot in the end with a coping saw. It's just a piece of simple white oak that I added a little character by putting some chamfers in it. You don't obviously have to do that, but corners are not very comfortable in the hand. You can make it any length you want. This is another one that I made a couple years back. Could use a little cleaning. This is a little bit of water staining from falling on the floor. But as you can see, these light brown areas are the high spots where this rust powder came from. And all that was is about 10 seconds, maybe 15 at the most of scraping. And you can already see a shine coming back into the cheek of this plane. But as you can see, it has a ways to go. All I've done is use a little bit of wire wheel on there, but it also has the issue of the frog not wanting to come off yet. I squirted some penetrating oil in there a few weeks ago, and it looks like it's pretty much soaked it up. And the screws are still tight. But the Japanning that I can see, there might be some bubbling right down there, but a lot of the Japanning actually looks quite clean underneath all that crud. But the lateral actually moves easily enough, so that's good. But may not be salvageable. I'm not sure how bad these are. The screw that holds it on the lever cap is still seized as well. So we'll see how it goes. But going back to the scraper, I cannot take full credit for this design at all. Keith on the Plane Collector channel, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it if you've watched any hand plane restoration videos over the last 5 to 7 years. He hasn't uploaded any new videos in a couple years, but I learned a lot of what I know for restorations from his channel. And he had a instructional video on how to make one of these. So I've made 3 of them so far. But definitely a game changer. Wire wheels can't get everything off, and I don't have an electrolysis set up, so I have to use a lot more elbow grease right now. So like I said, about 1.25 inches wide. It can be wider, whatever your comfort level is. Do it by feel if you want. A little bit of a slant, slight bevel you can put into it. Just, it's aesthetic, but also I believe it strengthens it a little bit. But a coping saw, do your best to keep it perfectly parallel. It's not a huge deal if it goes off a little bit at a slant, but it definitely helps for aligning it properly with how you're holding it. But you create a burr on it. Take some sandpaper, use some spray adhesive, or however, use a wet dry sandpaper on a piece of granite or glass, so it sticks to it. And you just use this motion, slant slightly to the side, and hold it perpendicular to the surface, and you create a burr on both sides, and that will help you get chunks flying off. Which it's actually kind of magnetic right now, but it's hard to see in the video. But there is a big chunk that popped off the side just from a light scraping. So hopefully this will give you another tool idea for your arsenal for restorations. Eventually I'm hoping I can get a setup for electrolysis. I've been hearing a lot of good things and seeing a lot of good restorations. A lot less hands-on, but like I said, I'm not there yet, so I have to use this kind of stuff. So a little cheaper to use these, and still very effective. Thanks for watching.